Hello to all of you dear and lovely audience of the Elixir of Awareness channel. Welcome to the 29th episode. We believe that these issues aren't about life after death. Rather, the real truth is about life before death. It's about how can we grow old while not being afraid of life or death. In this episode, we'll talk about the 7th step of the personal development path. We'll talk about understanding the meaning of true happiness in life and feeling good. Many researchers believe that we've the power to be happy, real happiness. They say true happiness is much more than a smile on your face. It depends actually on the way we look at the world. Happy people focus on small victories and miracles rather than problems, and instead of getting caught up in fear and worry, they see good possibilities in every situation. They're self-confident in dealing with problems and live with a purpose. You too can have this state of mind, even if you're feeling hopeless right now in your life. If you're usually pessimistic or have been pessimistic for a long time, we suggest you stay with us until the end of this episode. If most of us were asked what makes us happy and what odds would change our circumstances, we'd say we'd be happy if we won the lottery, got a better job, or lost weight. Professor William Phillipson, the psychologist at Wake Forest University who studies happiness, says, "In society, we believe that happiness is something that comes from the outside and happens to us. But actually, happiness comes from within and depends on how you think about your life. Sure, external events and material things like a new car or a higher salary can make you feel happy, but those feelings aren't permanent. You can change your perspective so that whether you lose weight, win the lottery, or get a raise or not, you'll feel peaceful and happy. Try to spend a few minutes a day in solitude and silence." Susan Willis, doctor and life coach, says the realities of modern life often force us to think about worrying issues. For example, you think about things like what you've to do today, what you said 5 minutes ago, or the phone call you're worried about tomorrow. Therefore, a quiet and peaceful time allows you to cut out those noises and realize what's really important to you. Suzanne suggests setting your clock 10 minutes earlier than your usual wake-up time and going to a quiet room before everyone else wakes up. Write something in your journal, do mind-clearing breathing exercises, or just light a candle and sit quietly. This exercise will help you find happiness in 2 ways. First, it blocks the release of stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. If these hormones are produced, you become anxious, irritable, and unhappy. Second, Buddhists and yogis believe that something interesting happens when you learn to silence these inner voices. Stephen Cope, a researcher at the Center for Yoga and Health in Lenox, says, "When you're calm and quiet, the answer to the question, 'What makes me happy?' is determined by itself." Experts say that if you want to be truly happy, get used to looking for the good in your life. Make a list of things that you like and enjoy every day. Maybe you enjoy taking a nap on the couch or cuddling your child, having time to eat dinner with your spouse, or maybe even just being alone and listening to music. How you do this gratitude is up to you. Some experts recommend that you write those things down or review them in your mind before bed, so you unconsciously fall asleep with a positive feeling. You can't be happy if you talk to yourself in negative ways. Dr. Susan says what you say to yourself affects your behavior in your body. Negative thoughts cause the release of stress hormones, making you feel worse. Many of us have a series of harsh criticisms of ourselves that are constantly running in our minds. If you're destroying your chances of achieving inner satisfaction and peace with these kinds of inner thoughts, decide to talk to yourself like a good friend from now on. Promise yourself to pay attention to your thoughts, no matter whether they're positive or negative. Another habit that can lead you to true happiness is being forgiving. Stephen Cope says Buddha said that if we understood the power of giving to create happiness, we'd never eat alone. He recommends doing more generous things. We all have natural motives to be forgiving. For example, it may occur to you to invite a lonely friend to dinner, call a special person, or buy coffee for a colleague. If you've the conditions for forgiveness, you'll definitely be happy to do it. You'll feel better by forgiving even the smallest things. Forgiveness creates inner happiness in both the giver person and the receiver person. and those good feelings can last for a long time. Finally, to be happy, you need to know your talents and use them every day. Many people spend their lives trying to fix their weaknesses, traits such as disorganization, anger, or extreme shyness. But instead of focusing on your weaknesses, spend more energy on your strengths. Notice what you're doing when you smile. For at least a week, choose some of your happy moments and promise yourself to repeat them as often as you can. Don't forget that happiness isn't something that others can provide for us. Just an inner effort is necessary to achieve true happiness. Happiness isn't what one sees from the outside. Rather, happiness is in the hearts of people. A happy heart means happiness. We believe that a person of any age, any job, any place, and any level of education and condition can have many reasons to be upset and unsatisfied. And of course, at the same time, it can have many reasons to be happy and satisfied. But because it's easier to be unhappy and complain, people choose the second way. This is because most of us are thirsty for attention from people around us in society. Sadness and happiness exist in every moment. It's just our decision which one to choose. Of course, genetic and social conditions aren't without influence. But believe us, if we open our eyes a little more, we can find even small reasons to be happy in life. Well, we've reached the end of this episode. The final question of this episode is, do you feel happy in your life? Please share your comments with us. Thank you very much for accompanying us until the end. And don't forget that the last step remained. So wait for the final episode of the 8-Step Personal Growth Development.